Well, hello and welcome to this week's broadcast. I am Anne LaFollette and I am a service pattern designer and a mindset coach. And this is part 2 of our little mini series about healthy habits with a specific focus on how to stay very healthy and engaged as a creative during the entire course of the year. Last week, we talked about morning routines and I shared 3 tips about how to come up with a great morning routine. And then I also shared my specific routine with you. And then as promised, this week's broadcast is about your evening routine. And I want to share my 3 tips for how to develop an evening routine. And then I'll share mine with you as well. Now, the most important thing before you even start to think about an evening routine is to understand why it's important. Now, an evening routine is just as important as a morning routine because it helps you wrap up your day. And I don't know about you, but I am a creative entrepreneur. And so I could work all day long. And I could also have a really hard time kind of shutting off and not getting distracted in the middle of dinner and feeling like I really needed to continue to work into the evening. And it's very important for us to be able to shift our focus and make sure that we aren't all encompassing or completely obsessed with our online business all day long or building our creative business all day, every day, 24/7. So having an evening routine allows you to focus on shutting down for the evening and focusing on your family or on something else and stop working. So that's the most important reason. Now, let me share my 3 tips with you. Now, tip number 1 is to decide how short you can keep your evening routine. And it's even more important for your evening routine to be fairly short so that, again, it is just letting you wind down. So tip number 1 is keep it short. Tip number 2 is to make sure that any of the activities you're doing are helping you wind down. So you don't want to be taking on a big project right at the end of the day because that's going to amp you up instead of actually letting you wind down. So again, tip number 2 is ensure that the activities that compose your evening routine are helping you kind of reach closure for the day and to start to wind down. And tip number 3 is pick something that helps you feel like you've accomplished something that day. And when I go into describing my actual routine, you'll see how that comes to life. Part of your evening routine that I think is important is to make you not feel like, oh my gosh, I had set out to do 25 things and I only accomplished 3 of them. And then all of a sudden you still feel really anxious about, oh my gosh, I'm going to have to carry forward all of these activities into tomorrow because I didn't get them done. So again, tip number 3 is ensure that part of your winding down activities are to celebrate the successes that you accomplished during that day and or even check things off of a list. So let me share now what my evening routine looks like. And I'm very influenced by Michael Hyatt and the Michael Hyatt's Full Focus Planner in particular, which is the planner that I use every day. I'll put a link below this video to his Full Focus Planner because I think it is actually a really, really good tool to help you stay organized. And I use it as part of my evening routine. So the first thing that I do in my evening routine is I go to my planner and I see what I had set out for myself for the day. And I only pick 3 things. And I make sure that I actually check them off. Or I decide, well, did I get it done or not? So can I check it off? But that's the first thing that I do. I open my planner. I go to see what were my big 3 for the day. And can I put a check mark next to them? Because that's so incredibly satisfying. I don't know about you, but I love a checklist and I love checking things off. So that is the first part of my routine. The second part of my routine is I flip to the next page, which is the following day, and I pick my big 3. And again, I've talked a lot about Michael Hyatt's planner and how to use it and how incredibly effective I think it is in a prior blog post and TV broadcast. So I will leave a link to that down below so that you can go back and refresh your memory. Or if you missed it, you can go watch it. But his philosophy is to pick 3 things that you want to accomplish on any given day, and you write those in your planner. So I write those during my evening winding down, because that helps me know when I wake up in the morning, I don't have to decide what I'm going to work on. I've already done that work the night before. And I find that really, really helpful. And finally, the third part of my routine is to go into my email box and just organize it. So, I mentioned a couple of minutes ago that you don't want to work on an activity as part of your evening routine that's actually going to make you more anxious or feel like you didn't accomplish as much as you had hoped to. And it's very difficult to get to what many people call email box zero, meaning that there's no unread emails in your box. That can be really, really challenging. And so I don't try to answer emails at the end of the day. I just make sure that they're organized. And so I have a folder, which is called Need to Reply. And I just move anything that I didn't get to that's in my email that's either unopened or unread, or I know I need to respond in one way or another. I move it into my Need to Respond folder. And then the other ones I just ignore. And so those are my 3 fairly simple evening routine elements. And I hope that you find them helpful and that you can discover 2 or 3 of your own that will really help you, so that then what that allows me to do is to totally shift my focus to my family. I can then either leave this creative studio and go into the house and fully focus on my family, or if I'm in the house working at at the big computer that's upstairs, I can shut it down for the day, go downstairs, start helping to make dinner, and actually really fully focus on my family. And I leave my phone upstairs and work is done for the day. So with that, I always like to say in closing that I am Anla Follett, and it's never too late to create. Bye for now, and I'll see you next week. If you enjoyed this broadcast, please go to my website, anlafollettart.com. What you see on screen is the cover image that you see as soon as you land on the website. And all the way at the bottom, you can follow me on Instagram at @AnlaFollettArt. And there's a link there for you to click on. Also, please subscribe to my YouTube channel, Anla Follett, and you can click on the subscribe button and then hit that little bell so that you're notified the next time I have a broadcast for you.